On today's episode of SchuZ Views, episode 10 provides a whole lot of stuff that you're not going to want to miss. I'm going to hit up three big-time questions regarding Russell Westbrook, is the lottery overhyped, and how important a bench is. Oh, and a coaching update, along with my playoff recap and a whole lot of stuff regarding SchuZ Zone that you're not going to want to miss. And special guest JORDYINADAZE joins, and you're not going to want to miss what we hit up about all of his upcoming things, including his album. Stay tuned, this is going to be a special episode, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you guys may be listening to SchuZ Views. No matter what time it is, though, I am ecstatic that you guys are able to join me today. Now, I hope that everyone is getting ready to have a very successful day, or has already completed a day in which you guys can all consider very successful. No matter how your day has been going, I hope that I can make it a great day. I'm ecstatic and excited to welcome you guys to the 10th episode of SchuZ Views, as I'm here at my home in Gilbert, Arizona, and I've got a very special episode here for you guys today, because I'm going to shake things up a little bit. As you guys know, I usually have someone involved in the basketball world from Arizona on my podcast, but today, it's going to be something different. Rising Arizona artist JORDYINADAZE joins SchuZ Views to talk about his upcoming album, his plans, and some great NBA topics. Now, there's been all kinds of news that I'm extremely excited to talk about. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. So let's go. The first topic I'm going to get into today is three questions that I've either seen on social media, I've heard from other people, or I've just pondered on and thought. The first one I'm going to get into, though, is just how important is a bench. Because to me, we saw the LA Clippers and what Doc Rivers did with that squad. Most people only realized and thought of the bench. Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, they made the Western Conference playoffs, and they gave the Warriors run for the money with two big-time wins. And I think a lot of guys could really use the bench role. Because something to me, I wonder, why are the players so against coming off the bench? Why? When you're in the NBA, you want to start so you can just be able to tip ball? No. The most important part of a game is the game, the clutch time. That's when you see Lou Williams, that's when you see Dinwiddie, that's when you see all these guys. So what, you get to start and you get to be a part of the tip-off? Cool, I guess? What? No. You want to be the most important part of the game where the highlights are made. The clutch shots, the buzzer beaters, the lockdown blocks, the defense that shuts down the entire guy, the big-time passing. That's what people are remembered for. That's where you go down in the history books. Not the tip ball. How many people have seen highlight reel, Sports Center Top 10, or any kind of thing of a tip-off? It's ridiculous. No. The more the bench players accept these bench rules, the better the league gets and better they will get more notoriety and become better players. What I'm going to do now is I think of this. There are some of the guys I already listed that are great bench pieces. There's others that are young players that are going to develop into that. There's other guys that might be on the fringe of starting or bench. Other guys, the only way they're going to stay in the league or come back to the league will be off the bench. And here's some guys I'm going to talk to you guys about and what I want to list about who could be the big-time bench players. I'm going to start with Milwaukee. Donte DiVincenzo, the rookie from Villanova. He didn't get a lot because he was hurt a lot through the season, but I saw enough to know he's going to be a very good bench player in the league. We all saw what he did at Villanova as a six-man. He led his team to a national championship off the bench. I believe he even won Final Four most valuable player. That was critical. He helped lead a team in college. I think he can do it in Milwaukee. Toronto, Serge Ibaka. He accepted a big-time role when Siakam took his spot. Valanciunas was there originally, but then, of course, Marcus Gasol. He struggled a little bit. He was great as a starter. But taking that bench run as he continues to develop into it will truly see him shine. Of course, Fred VanVleet is also a great player for them. Someone that reminds me so much of Fred VanVleet is Monte Morris at Denver. Monte Morris was the guy that Isaiah Thomas was supposed to be for Denver, as that six-man backup point guard that could score and get buckets. He's been fabulous, and he's a great six backup point guard. He's been one of those very good ones for a very long time. But here's some guys that I'm going to make you guys think on. Will Barton for starters. He was a starter most of the season. He was hurt, though. He moved from the bench, didn't get many minutes, and finally the other game, yes, they lost the 4-overtime game, but he played it spectacular off the bench. It was incredible. I was so glad to see what he did. That's something I can truly embrace and fill in that six-man, seventh-man role in Denver could dominate. Terrence Ross kind of guy is what I think of. Because next year, I believe Michael Porter Jr. will take that starting role at small forward. Two other guys, Malik Beasley and Gary Harris. Those two guys both remind me so much of J.R. Smith back when he was at Denver and New York. They're athletic, can score, light it up. I think Gary Harris would be a very good guy that you can get buckets and go-to guy off the bench. And Denver has a lot of guys. I believe Harris or Beasley will be moved, most likely Gary Harris. Sabonis is a guy that a lot of people say should start because Thad Young will be on the move. I like Sabonis coming off the bench. He is an elite six-man he can be that you can build your whole second unit off of and almost your whole offense off of. Dennis Schroeder is the perfect example. He was a great young starting point guard that could start. He's better than a lot of starting point guards in the NBA. But he came off the bench and excelled in that Reggie Jackson kind of role from a few years ago. 15-5 kind of guy. Spectacular. Utah's got Grayson Allen. That could be really good. 40-point game right before the season ended. I think he'll also develop into that. As for San Antonio, Breen Forbes. About 11, 12 points a game this last season. Next year, like I said, DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, and Derek White will be the starters. Leaving Breen Forbes out of the equation, I think Breen Forbes will remain a San Antonio Spur for sure. But you guys want to know who he reminds me of? Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili, not saying, in no way, don't get me wrong and think I'm thinking that Breen Forbes is the next Manu. But he will be in that same role Manu was and help them contend for a championship in the future. Willie Cauley-Stein and Bogdan Bogdanovic have a special duo off the bench. I think Willie Cauley-Stein will eventually become a backup kind of guy. Dinwiddie, obviously we already know he's an elite guy, same with Ed Davis. But as for Rondae, he has the energy just like Montrezl has, and Shabazz Napier can get hot right away and be a perfect six-man. He was great for Portland a year ago. Reggie Jackson is a good, solid starting point guard, but I think he will excel if he gets moved to be a backup point guard, which I think he will get moved this summer. Him taking a backup role again will truly revive his career and bring it back to the elite six-man he once was. James Borrego and Mitch Kupchak made an incredible move by making Lamb go the six-man right after the All-Star break. Because his numbers didn't drop at all. He can lead he got that same thing I can talk about Gary Harris and those guys. He can get that hot hand. Terrence Ross, all those guys. Orlando, Terrence Ross is going to be special. You guys already know he's great. I love him being a backup role. But here's something that might irritate some of you guys in Arizona fans here, University of Arizona fans. Aaron Gordon. Now, don't get me wrong. He is more than talented and talented enough to be able to be a starting power forward, small forward in the NBA. But I like the idea of him coming off the bench. Now, of course, Orlando cannot do that because there's no talent in terms of replacing him in the starting lineup. But if they can find someone like that, watch out. Because Aaron Gordon is one of the guys that will be the best player off the bench in any game. He's got that Montrezl Harrell, but he's way better. He's like a little step back this year, but I'd love to see what he does if he could come off the bench. And that's something that I really would love to see. Dion Waiters can fill in for that Dwayne Wade role because Dwayne Wade has retired this year. Be perfect. Come off the bench, score, be that hot guy. But remember, he still was a great player a couple years ago to help lead Miami to the playoffs. Taking him off the bench, that'd be something special. Tim Hardaway Jr. can score at will. There's not many guys that can get as high as him that can just score. We saw him when he starts. Take him off the bench, see what he can dominate like that. Dallas, I think, will keep him and see what he goes on with there. Dwight Howard, if he comes back. I don't think he's going to do this because we know his emotions. I don't know if he's going to play again. But he has the potential to be an elite backup guy. One of the best backup centers because he rebounds, he blocks shots, he scores, he's athletic. We'll see what happens after post-injury again, Dwight. But I would love to see what he would do if he could accept that role for once and grow up. Chicago's Chris Dunn. He's not the guy that Chicago needs to build around. They need a new point guard, as I said before, Lonzo Ball. But Chris Dunn, someone that if he wants to revive his career, needs to take a backup role when he gets traded this summer. I don't think he will be a Chicago Bull at the start of next year. That's the only chance he has of truly finding his role in the NBA. Jordan Clarkson was a perfect example of that. He is an elite backup point guard and could score at will. Him and Sexton were a great duo. We're coming in and out of the game for each other. Both scoring about the same amount of numbers as well. Trier, I don't know if he will be a member of the New York Knicks or not, because of the fact that he doesn't even get picked in pickup scrimmages, I guess, with the New York Knicks, because he's not a good teammate. That being said, Alonzo Trier is a very good guy that can get hot quickly. And DeAndre Jordan, I no means am I saying this, DeAndre is a great player. DeAndre can start in the NBA still, but taking a backup role could be the same level as Dwight Howard, but better. As for Phoenix, Tyler Johnson will most likely go back to being a backup role, and he'll succeed at that in mentoring Ja Morant. Jamal Crawford, of course, once again, he is the prime example of what six-man, how this thing kind of started and became a popular thing. And T.J. Warren will be dealt this summer, I believe, by the Phoenix Suns. He's someone that someone could use as, yes, a starter, but why not have him come off your bench and be an elite go-to scorer? Next question. Is the lottery as important and as hyped and meant to be hyped up? Because let me tell you something. Yes, top picks are great. Brooklyn, everyone's hyping them up. We could get stars. We were made the playoffs. We didn't have any lottery picks. Yes, D'Angelo was traded to us, but we didn't pick anyone. A lot of these guys, huh? Landry Shamet, he wasn't in the lottery. You look at these things when you do redrafts. How many of these guys around picks late after the first round? Kawhi Leonard, 16th pick. Rudy Gobert, 27th. Draymond. The list goes on. We don't need to go down this list. It's crazy. Another crazy stat is not basketball related, but football. Might blow you guys' minds. 481 players in the NFL on NFL rosters are undrafted players. There's 480 players in the NFL from first and second rounds combined. So there's more undrafted players on NFL rosters than there are first and second round picks combined. This goes almost into the NBA as well. So yes, if he can. Once again, this is my quote. I'm always going to say this. A draft pick is only as good as this drafter. San Antonio's mastered that. That's why they made the playoffs for 23 straight years. So truly, in my opinion, no, the lottery is important, yes. It can truly help revive a career or a team. But then you have teams stuck in the lottery for 10 plus years. Orlando finally got out of it, but they've been in there forever. Sacramento's been in there forever. The Phoenix Suns, of course, have been in there forever. So what's the big deal? I think it is very well overhyped. Lottery is not as important as people make it sound. It's about as good as you draft. Now, the next thing I want to hit up. I got into this a little bit last week. I get into this sometimes. Is Russell Westbrook done? Is he out of his prime for sure? Are you kidding me? This is crazy. It's irrational and foolish. And slow down, guys. Come on. Like, are you guys kidding me? It's absolutely absurd. Yes, has Russell Westbrook lost from that explosiveness? Of course he has. Of course he has. Of course he's not jumping from most of the free throw line and posterizing guys still. But has LeBron lost explosiveness too? Yes, and we still call him a great player. No, is he LeBron? No. He doesn't deserve to be a top player. First team All-NBA. You just take steps back? No, maybe you guys should get a new coach in there that knows how to coach these guys and teach them how to play. Maybe they should give them some more minutes and not have only 6 guys play an entire game besides 3 minutes from Markieff Morris. Ever thought about that? Once again, Billy Donovan's not meant to coach at Oklahoma City Thunder. Russell Westbrook, though, come on. America is a bunch of bandwagoners. That's what I want to say. It's true. You guys be praising Russell Westbrook nonstop for so long. All of a sudden you guys go to hating him? Come on now. Really? No, did he just lose the battle to Damian Lillard? Of course he did. So is he better than Damian Lillard? No. But it's just saying on All-NBA. I would never take away and never take credit away from a guy that's averaged a triple-double 3 straight years in a row. I don't care what you want to say to me. I will never discredit Russell Westbrook for that stat. How? Maybe he has pads a little bit sometimes. Maybe make sure he gets the rebound. But he plays with so much heart and intensity. How do you not appreciate that? How? He lays it all out on the floor. He never slacks or takes breaks. He plays with his heart and emotion every time and ignites a city. He stayed loyal when he could have left Oklahoma City Thunder. He was your guys' MVP a couple years ago. Is he still in his prime? No. He has a triple-double, though, and you better not discredit that. Do not take away from the guy. So what? Maybe he has a little bit. Why doesn't everyone do that then? Why not? Tell me. Why does everyone not do that then? I don't know. But it's ridiculous. Stop it. I will not take away anything from a player that averaged a triple-double 3 straight years has never been done before. So tell me, what's the difference now? First year he did it, he's glorified, talked about all over the world, big-time spotlight, big-time stages. Now this year he does it, he gets slandered? Because the NBA had to screw up with the free throw shot? No, stop it. Russell Westbrook is still an elite point guard. I don't want to hear any of this other crap he guys want to bring up. Stop slandering his name and put some respect on him. I am sick of it. Sick of seeing these things about him nonstop. Show him respect. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame player, one of the greatest point guards ever to do it, and he's still averaging a triple double. Now, if you guys want to say he's out of his prime and he's completely done and he's still averaging a triple double, then that's ridiculous. That's how great he is then. But by saying that he is done and he's horrible as he averages a triple double, oh my goodness. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous and hypocritical. I'm done seeing this about Russell Westbrook. Put some respect on Russell Westbrook's name right now. Stay right there. You're not going to want to miss what's coming up next. Because as I told you, this week's special guest is a very special guest and out of the ordinary. We're talking about a rising Arizona artist in JORDYINADAZE. It's a very special guest for the 10th episode of SchuZ Views. And I promise you that we're going to get into a whole lot of stuff that you're not going to want to miss. It's coming up next. So if I were you, I'd be staying right there. I'm excited to welcome one of the rising Arizona artists, JORDYINADAZE. How you doing today?
I'm amazing. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. So let's get right into this then. So let's talk more about you. Like, explain yourself. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into music? How'd you do all of that?
So I was born in Youngstown, Ohio. It's literally right next to Pennsylvania, like 20 minutes.
Okay.
And it's kind of rough out there. But I lived in the suburbs. I lived in a pretty good part, but it was getting like pretty tough around there too. So my parents were like, "Oh, we want to move somewhere sunny." So we moved out to Arizona, and then from there, I was always in basketball, as you guys see. Like my basketball life has always just been that. And then kind of when I got older, it's like, okay, I'm only 6 feet, but I'm really creative and I can sing. So let's use the best of our abilities. So
For sure, yeah.
basically with music, it was just more of an outlet for me. I would say I'm a good writer. I think I'm a pretty decent writer, and I've always loved that. I love expressing myself, and I just felt like it was something that like wasn't given to me in a sense that I can make my own and I can be great in, and I can tell my own story and have people behind me, because I felt like people never really took me seriously as just like that funny kid who was like an athlete, like pretty much a jock. And I was just like, you know what, let me get serious about something. So then music came along, and that's just how we got to here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how'd you come up with your name, JORDYINADAZE?
So my name, as you guys all know, is Jordan, Jordan. But like this girl, I remember my junior year would always be like, Lord, pretty Jordy. And I would be like, that's terrible. Don't call me that. Like, that sounds really dumb. Like, don't call me that. And then more and more, like, girls just started calling me Jordy. And I was like, if girls like this name, then I think it's a pretty catchy name. And, like, I even feel it, like, when people say my name, Jordy, it gives them more of a relaxed feel. I feel like it's more of a, like, cozier name, I feel like. So I got Jordy from
No doubt, yeah.
And then in a daze, me and my friends would always say, dude, you're in a daze, or like, dude, like you're like tripping right now, or something like that. So basically with me, like if you look up a daze, it's a state of confusion. And I feel like life is a state of confusion. Life is so unpredictable. Like there's so many things that happen and you literally feel like you're in a daze. So like it's just
yeah.
So pretty much the idea is it's just Jordy in life, like Jordy trying to figure it out. I'm part of this confusion. I'm trying to figure it out. And then hopefully when I get older, I can just drop it to Jordy and we leave it like that. But, all of us kids are in a daze. And you know what? Like, I remember when I was younger.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember when I was younger and people would be like, they would have the name like blank the creator or ASAP this. Like, so I want to start something like that again, where kids are using the end of days and they're realizing like we're part of this confusion, we're part of this days, but we're going to grow out of it together. So that's how I came up with the name JORDYINADAZE.
That's actually pretty cool. I'm just spot on with all that. That's explains a lot. That's definitely a name I could see trending, especially out here on the West Coast.
Exactly, bro. It's a very free name. It's like it rolls off the tongue just like JORDYINADAZE. Like it just rolls off the tongue easy. It's not hard to say. Like it's not too much. People always think it's like capital, like one letter, then like you space out the other letters. Nah, it's all one name. It's all caps. Like that's just how I like it. And I don't know. People have taken kindly to it. I thought people weren't going to understand it, and they didn't at first. But, like, people have taken kindly to it. People actually like the name now, so that's all that matters.
For sure. So how would you say you came up with the thank God part?
So my mom always, when I was younger, like I'm a man of God. So period point blank,
Hmm.
like God is like my everything. Like I just want him to be the center of everything that I do. Without him, like I don't know your views, but without him, for me, like I'm nothing. Like he is
Oh
like
yeah, for
my
sure,
base. Yeah,
100%.
he's my base. He's my everything. He's my reliever. He's everything. So I always wanted to add something in my music. Oh, my back. I always wanted to add something in my music to give him praise and honor and glory. So for me, it was just like, how do I do that in the best way in something that's catchy? So one day I was in the studio and like sometimes you'll catch me, like I'll just be saying random things like on the mic just to see what works. Because like you'll know, like if you ever get into music, like with recording, it's all about what sounds good on the mic, what certain words sound good, what certain effects and stuff. So I just one day
Hmm.
was like, thank God. And I was like, oh, that's kind of clean. Like, that's kind of hard. And then I remember, bro, like everybody would tell me, like, don't use that. Like, don't put God in it. Like, don't do that. Like, people aren't going to like that. And like, look, it's like one of the most popular things I'm known for now. And like, I just needed something catchy that like people, when they like hear that like common saying name now, they're going to think of me. And I think that'll go like international and globally and hopefully universal, where like when they think of, that term, thank God, they think of my term.
Of course. I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, every kind of artist, either whatever genre you're talking about, they all have some kind of thing. I mean, mostly in rap. I mean, almost all genres, they have some kind of catchphrase that they get known for. I mean, that's obviously it all starts with God. I mean, I'm a firm believer, man of God, and that's obviously where it all starts with.
Exactly, bro. I believe that to the fullest 100%. And you know what? Without God, we aren't anything. So I got to give him glory, honor, and praise every single time I step on a mic. He deserves it. He's earned it. I'm
Hmm.
just literally at this point doing what I'm telling stories that he wants me to tell, that the world needs to know, and trying to help everybody else and, be the best man of God that I can possibly be, walking in his light. So I'm just honored that he
Hmm.
would even give me the opportunity and these abilities to do it.
That's amazing. I mean, obviously, I mean, the more and more people that can be spreading God's word, that's the best. I mean, a lot of time people just look at guys like Lecrae and they don't really necessarily know them at all. But I mean, you got guys and athletes, of course, that have a big spotlight. But a lot of time, artists that you don't necessarily see them making music. A lot of times, it's kind of hard to show God unless you have something like that.
Right. And like for me, it was always about like, how can I do it in the best way where I'm not coming off as corny, but at the same time, it's
Hmm.
really who I am. Like my music might not always reflect. And I'll be honest, my music might not always reflect godly views, but at the same time, it's telling my honest truth and my honest story. And God's always gonna respect that. I personally think so. So for me, it's just like, how can I relate to the kids the best, where I can make it seem like it's cool to believe in God, bro. Like it's cool to express that, but it's also cool to have fun and be wild and, be a good person and be funny. Like you don't gotta sell out to be something
Hmm.
that you're not. You don't have to act a certain way or create an image. Like you can be yourself, bro. I'm from Goodyear, Arizona. And like to me, like I think I'm the coolest dude ever because it's just about the aura that you carry that, God has given me, and then God is giving you. You have to accept who you are. And I want that to
Hmm.
be the main thing for kids that they know about me, is that they can accept themselves through my music, through my art, through my creativity. And that's why we have the chats, kids expressing, what they
Hmm.
want to do and their goals and their
Absolutely, yeah.
futures and stuff. And that's just so big for me, bro. It's all about helping the kids. It's not ever really, I mean, it's about me because like I want to do
Hmm.
something positive. But when I die, if I don't help millions and billions of people, I've done nothing on earth, honestly.
For sure. I mean, once again, that's why I mean one of my favorite artists ever that I've loved forever is Chance the Rapper. I mean, mostly because everyone knows he's a strong, devoted Christian, but also he still lives his life in a high, fun way. He lives a celebrity kind of life, and he still does it with a passion. And that's all the same thing with Marvin. I mean, a lot of those guys are just their face, you know their life, but they walk the life of God, but they still show that they can have fun, and it's not just a strict religion where it's God just has certain things set up for you. You have to follow those exact ways and be boring. It's a fun lifestyle.
Exactly, bro. And that's what I love about Marvin so much. Shout out to Marvin. He's
Hmm.
very organic. He's never forgot where he's came from, never forgot the people that were, there when he was younger, and I really appreciate that. I always show love to that regards. There's a lot of people that I'm noticing that are forgetting where they came from, and that's, heartbreaking to me. But at the same time,
Hmm.
God's gonna humble them, and it's not up to me to judge them. It's up to God to make those choices. But we always show love and support, and we go from there.
Absolutely. So let's get into this now. So you have a new album coming out a couple of weeks. Talk about it. Talk about its name, the release date, any featured artists. What's going on there?
So I have an album called Bohemia, and it stems from Bohemians, not really Bohemians exactly, but it was
Hmm.
in Bohemia in the 1800s. It was a radicalist movement, and they believed that art could be unconventional. So pretty much it doesn't have to be the normal art that you hear every day. It doesn't have to be the normal art that you see. It can be extreme. And I believe in the anarchy movement, that it's like law inside of like free order or something like that. So pretty much it's just saying like, we follow by the laws, but we live by our own rules at the same time. And I truly am a firm believer in that, and I just want to rebring that movement back. And I also love the song Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. And just like it's free, it's unconventional, but it's literally, by mass popular belief, one of the greatest songs of all time for its unconventional style. When you hear this album, it's not just all rap, it's not just pop, it's not just R&B, it's not just smooth, it's not just hard hitting drums. Like it's everything that you would expect me to do in the sense of like creativity wise, but it's nothing that you expected me to do artistically. So that's the
Hmm.
unconventional style that I wanted to go with. And you know how I always say that I'm not a rapper, I'm a pop star. So with
Hmm. For
Bohemia, it's
sure.
me being as unconventional as possible to prove to you that I am not just a rapper. I am an all-around artist. I do everything. So I think that's how it really conveys it.
Without doubt, yeah. So let's talk about this. So when's the release date coming out?
I had a release date, but it really depends on right now. I have a lot of things in the works. I got some videos coming out. As you've seen, I got new music coming out, and we're going hard on promo right now with the group chats and stuff like that. We're trying to
Hmm.
really push for that, and it really just depends on the attention that I'm getting. If I'm getting a lot of attention around like June, um, a special date is in that month, so then I could possibly release it
Hmm.
then. But if I'm still like harboring around and hovering around this range right now, which is fine because I have a lot of videos, a lot of stuff coming out. Once
Absolutely,
all
yeah.
that stuff's out and that stuff's hitting hard, and we got Born in LA, as to the world they know Normal to a Genius. Once I drop that, it's gonna change everything. So it's just
Hmm.
literally about timing right now. What is the best time to release each certain thing, and that's what we're waiting on right now.
For sure. So what would you say then? Are there any big time featured artists or some other people you want to talk about inside the album?
I have pretty much all my friends like that make music on the album. I have Young Reese for I-10, of course, that's a lead single.
Hmm.
And then I got my other boy. Do what I have my other boy Christian Grey on it. No one knows who he is, but I think we got the best song together on that album. It's the transitional song to like the B side
Okay.
of the album, and literally when you hear it, like it's gonna put you in the greatest mood ever. It's insane. Like no one is making the music that I'm about to release, bro. I'm just telling you, like it's just crazy. Who else? Who else do we have? I think the rest is just me. I wanted this project to be majority of me, so you really see my different styles. You aren't just
Oh
hearing
yeah.
like everyone else on it. Like you're hearing really what I can do on different types of, tracks, on different types of beats, on different types of flows and styles. Like no track when you listen to is going to be like, oh, that track sounds like that track, or that track sounds like every track is so
Hmm.
distinctively different that I think like the world, I mean, the way that we're going to do it, the world's going to appreciate it.
Oh yeah. So what would you say would be something to the public that what's something that you want to gain out of this album for everyone else that's listening to it?
I really want people to like really just open their eyes. I want people to have it like listen with an open ear. I want the public to really listen. The problem with a lot of music nowadays is it's not digestible. Like people are just listening to the beat and the beat sounds good and it's just going like that, and then like you aren't even listening to what they're saying at all. And I feel like sometimes without certain hype, like certain type of drama or like stuff going on, like say if an artist got arrested or something, like that's really the only time that people really listen to what the artist has to say, because then it's
Hmm.
trying, maybe they were saying something that we were missing out on something. So I just want people, that's why I want to garner a lot of attention through social media. I want people to be like, okay, like this guy's cool, like let's actually pay attention to what he's doing. So I
Hmm.
just want people to really just listen and be open minded, because I'm telling a lot of stuff on this album, like a lot of truths, a lot of real stuff. Like the second half is pretty much like about me getting my heart broken. And like I made these three songs like back to back on the album, like in the same week. And I just really want to touch on that stuff and like all types of emotions that we feel as kids, and just hopefully bring that full circle. And I think I can.
Of course. I mean, you touched upon that perfectly. I mean, a lot of these guys, especially guys that come out of nowhere, that are rap artists or any kind of artist, it's mostly also some kind of thing that they did negative in the world, and
Exactly.
that's something that's, I mean, is different with you. I mean, everyone that knows you knows that you're a positive, upgoing, happy, out there kind of person. That's the kind of stuff that our world needs to promote more than, of course, the negative stuff that's getting talked about way too much with athletes, with artists, with celebrities. I mean, that's usually what brings people to the light, but it should never be that.
It's really sad that it takes negative connotation, negative things to happen to people to listen to what happened. Like for people to listen, like with Nip dying or Mac Miller dying, rest in peace to those legends. But like it really
Hmm.
took all of that for people to really give them the love, attention, and support that they deserve when they could have had that on Earth. I mean, Mac Miller and Nip both sold like 50,000 copies their first week, but then they went
Yeah.
like number 2 on the billboards and number 1 on the billboards when they died. Like I think that's so disrespectful to me, and I just think that with artists going to jail and people and then they stream their music and then they go number 1. Like I just think it's outrageous how that works. But you know what? It is what it is. It's a land of the beast. We are on Satan's territory. It's Earth. It's earthly doings, and I'm just, I just hopefully can push the right narrative and the right stories, and create content that, like I said, bro, like I'm a suburban kid. I'm from Goodyear, Arizona. Like I'm nobody special in the sense of like I'm not like I don't have some crazy story. Like, no, I'm just a regular person and I did it. And that's what I want people to understand, is that you can do it any type of way, wherever you're from, like you can do this.
Without a doubt. So yeah, let's talk into the next part then. So in terms of building an album, how does that work? I mean, you obviously have to get the songs, but is it how do you make each song? How do you put together like the cover pictures? How do you put together the promotions? How do you do all that?
So pretty much with like my album, I've pretty much had to it's been a year's work of music. I will say honestly, it's been a year's work. Like I've just been taking songs, bits and pieces here and there, but I
Hmm.
collectively had a plan from the jump when I was making this album like a year ago, like the start of June 21st. So I pretty much been working on it for a year. And with everything, bro, it's just like you kind of get to a point where like you first for me, it started with the single. Like it started with the song on there called Mags, and then this other song on there, the 2-part song, and I was like, okay, that could be a good thing. Like, and I loved Queen, and like I said, like they're a huge inspiration to me, and I just wanted to, use it as a driving force for my album. So pretty much with me, it was just like, okay, with the songs, I needed to make it a point when I come into the game that like, no, I never came into the game as a rapper. I never came into the game as this. I came into the game as an artist. I came into the game creatively speaking my mind unconventionally. So that was
Of
pretty much
course,
the
yeah.
overall goal from the jump. And then when like I said, when I did that whole week and I knocked out, and you'll hear them on the album. I listen, like I'm gonna say these names of these songs, and you're gonna go back and listen to the names. You'll be like, "Wow!" In a week, you made like this. It's a song called "Loner Ways." No, I made "Teenage Fever" first. Then we made "Loner Ways." Then we made no "Teenage Fever," "No Lie," "Loner Ways," and then the next week I came back. We made "Bored in L.A." And these are 4 songs, like different types of vibes that like when you hear them, you'd be like I'm in another realm right now. I feel like I'm in like outer space when I hear these songs, and they're just like crazy. So basically like when I really get to lock in with my engineer slash producer, which Jay Kidd and Luca, when I get to lock in with them, man, like we sit there for like 16 hours working on one song sometimes, and just like trying to get it done, and we don't eat, sleep, or anything. We're just up
Hmm.
working. So that's just how I like to work. That's how I am. It literally took us like 2 weeks to finish up like the second half of the album, and then we just went from there. But I'm working on the outro currently to finish out the album. After I finish that, we're gonna remix it, um remix master it, and then it's gonna go from there. But with the cover, we're still working on that because I want to be creatively different as possible and come with something simplistic but at the same time that'll stand the test of time years to come, that it's something that's like
Hmm.
monumental. It's a monumental cover that changed a lot of life, and I want to be like, I want to have a generational album that like when we go back years from now, we were like, this was the Nirvana of our time. Like it was the driving force to like our next generation of kids. Like
No
we're
doubt.
gonna grow up on. So that's my overall vision. Is like this is like gonna be the album that the kids are gonna be talking about years from now, like the rodeos, like that really changed like how the face of music is going.
Hmm. So I know another thing that some people kind of wonder is like when you see artists that release a couple songs before the album, that's going to be like the hit songs on the album. How as an artist do you kind of identify this is probably going to be like the best song? That's the one you want to release first.
Well, for me, it's like we made I-10 in like 10 minutes in a studio in Arizona. Then I said, we made like those 4 other songs in LA. Then we made Nicolo in Arizona like a year ago. And then like it's just like different vibes, and you're just seeing like, bro, I'm telling you, Nicolo was never supposed to be released. Like that song was never supposed to come out at all. Like we did not like that song. We were like, no. But then Nico had the shadow game, and he was like, bro, like we gotta drop it, like it's perfect timing, like all that stuff. Like Nico was the one enforcing it. And I was like, okay. I was like, Nico, this what you want? Like I'm good with it. Like people were loving the song, and like that's why I was saying like I don't know. I was talking to my friend. I was just like, bro, like without Nico, like I'm not here, and that's not even off his like promo and stuff like that.
You're good.
It's it like him posting me on his IG and stuff like that. It's not even that. It's like this kid heard the song Nicolo last June when I made it, and he was the one like pushing it. Like every time he got in the car, he was like, play your song, play your song, play your song for everybody. And he's the one that gave me my confidence to like make more music, because it was at a point where I was just like, bro, nothing's happening. Like I don't want to do this. Like I don't care. He kept explaining to me like, nah, dude, like you got to keep going. Like this is hot, bro. Like you are making stuff that like no one is on, right? Like you got to keep going. And just if Nicolo never happened, I remember texting my mom like 2 days before it released. I was like, Mom, like if this song doesn't like at least start some buzz, because I had 21 buzz and that was cool or whatever locally. But like, if this song doesn't do something, then I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm going back to school next semester. And I tweeted it. I was like, if I don't make it or have something in the works by this time next year, then I'm quitting. I'm just going to school. And then like days later, we released Nicolo. He had 40 in a game winner, and then it just went from there.
For sure. So what actually inspired you then to make the Nico song originally?
Nico, honestly, we've been friends since he was in 8th grade, and he was the second song I ever made. So you know how like it says Nicolo Part 2? Like I said in the group chat, I think you're in it. Like there's a Part 1. I just think it's terrible, and I never wanted to release it. People love it, but like once again, I thought it was terrible, and I didn't release it. Maybe when I release this one might do better than the last one. But like pretty much he just like he's such an inspiring kid. Like his whole story within himself, like he's just redheaded white kid. He just has so much energy. He's an enigma towards me, and like he just reminds me a lot of myself in the sense of like our drive and energy and motives, and like on and off the court, like how we are, like we just get along so well. Like that's my best friend. And pretty much just like just the vibes, bro. Like he asked me like I said last June, like to make him a song, and I was just like, all right, cool. Like I'll make one. Like it's not hard. Like writing rap, like is very easy for me, bro. Because like rap is just kind of like 4-bar standards. Sometimes you can kind of get fun and freaky with it, like I say in my song. But like you can get different. But I made it in like 5 minutes. I made Nicolo in 5 minutes. Like I freestyled it, like off the top of my head.
Wow.
Freestyled it, like that whole song. And we were just like, just keep going. All right, just keep going. All right, just keep going. And then we just were like, all right, Nico can have it. Then we thought nothing of it. He was like, bro, this is crazy. Like, this is hard. Like, thank you so much. And I was like, all right, I guess. And then the next day, I went back. I made 21. The next day, we made Mags. Like, that was a good vibe that week, too. But basically, with, like, that song, it's just, like, you know, I'm very inspired by my friends. I'm very inspired by my people. If you listen to my music, it's, like, very, like, I talk about a lot of real stuff that's going on in my life. Like, if you recite a lyric, like, that probably happened in my life or happened to a friend, and I'm just telling the story of it. So I'm very based off of true, like, people who inspire me, and that's why like I have a song for Spencer, I have a song for Josh, I have a song for Nico. These kids literally inspire me. Like I listen to the kids. Like Kanye says, like you got to listen to them, bro, because like they're the ones that are the future tellers. They're the ones that like are doing all of the great things. They're the ones that have the best ideas. So you got to listen to them, you got to trust them. So you know, just go from there.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So then, how about that? With talking about the Josh Green, how did that song come to? How did you decide to make that song?
Dude, this guy Josh would call me every single day and be like, bro, just make me a song. Like, make me one, please, 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 please. I'm like, Josh, like it has to happen organically, bro. Like, I'm a very organic person. Like, I don't force a song. Like, this is probably bad, but I low-key haven't written a full song in like 2 or 3 weeks. But that's because I've been working on all this other stuff. But like when
Yeah.
I get in a zone and when I'm very inspired and when I need to start making music and I hear beats and instrumentals and we're playing around, like I still write every single day. I write one liners or this line or that line. Like I'll write stuff and like just, listen to beats and get ideas. So I'm staying, within the rhythm and I'm singing every day. But with Josh's song, I was driving in the car and then I was just like, getting to the money like I'm Josh Green. And then I said that to my friend, my producer, Cam Young. And then he was like, yo, this is hard. And I was like, make a beat around it right now. And then he sent me that beat back. And then we freestyled the verse. We freestyled the verse and then we just dropped it. But like I feel like with Josh Green, that song should have gotten more attention. I just didn't promote it enough. I didn't believe in it
Hmm.
enough at first. But that's actually a really good song. And what's good about songs like that is that they're good songs and that when you blow up, people will go back to them and be like, wow, like that's quality music, like that's good stuff.
Absolutely. Is there any other athletes you might be making a song for soon?
No, not right now. I kind of want to stem away from that. That's why I'm not even naming this next song after Spencer. It's no
Hmm.
no disrespect towards Spencer. That's one of my guys too. I'm going to see him
Yeah.
tomorrow. But it's just I need to step away from that realm. I kind of wanted to use the athlete realm because people don't realize this in music, but like basketball and football and like music goes hand in hand. Like the
Oh
rappers want
yeah.
to be athletes and the athletes want to be rappers. So like for me, it's like I needed to use that. And I know, and I happen to know a lot of talented athletes and basketball players and football players. So, like, I needed to use that to, like, where it can benefit both of us, where not only you're getting a good song, but you're pushing me and you're giving me the level that I need to be at. So, like, I can get my talents noticed. Because without Nico, bro, like, none of this is happening. Like, honestly, bro, like, if he doesn't promote the song as hard as he did, if he didn't get it up, if the song wasn't buzzing, if the song wasn't traveling at the rate that he did, if it wasn't on Ball's Life, overtime, all that stuff, I would not be in the place or position that I'm in today. And I'm so thankful for that by the grace of God that he put someone like that in my life that cares enough to push me like that. So basically with like him and just getting it out more and just pushing more of a narrative of myself. I think that's very important. That's why I release a lot more like singing songs on my SoundCloud, not in the sense of like I want to push my singing side, but like I need them to see that like I'm not just like some athlete artist or like some like
Hmm.
one hit wonder artist. Like we got songs on the radio that are doing well right now. I-10, we got songs that hit 100,000 on SoundCloud, Nicolo. So these are all types of different flows of songs, and that's what I really wanted to push and push me as a solo artist that like I actually make quality music. I'm not just like for athletes to make hype music.
Hmm. For sure. So what would you say would be your favorite song if there is one that you like the most?
My favorite song, okay. My favorite song is an unreleased song called Teenage Fever and Born in LA. Those are my two favorite. I play those songs every single day, no matter what time of the day. Just because Teenage Fever is very poppy. It's like new kids on the block, JC McCartney type vibes, like One Direction.
Hmm.
It's really like poppy. And that's stuff that I grew up on. Like I love pop music so much. And Born in LA just because, bro, like I really hope you're in Arizona, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you have to come to my show June 21st. It's a free show for charity. Um,
I bet.
yeah, like you got to come. Like it's gonna be crazy, and I'm going to play that song, the first song when I come out, and it's just like you guys are gonna get the vibes of like that song. It's literally crazy, like when you fill it out fully.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that album's definitely gonna be a big hit. I can already tell.
Yeah, it's gonna be out of this world, dude. Like, I'm just so glad people like you are a part of it that are like, giving coverage and part of the group chats and stuff. Because y'all are the ones that believed in me when no one else did. Y'all are the ones that listened to me and gave me a chance. So like, without you guys, like, I'm just so thankful that you guys even gave me a chance to even trust what I have to say.
Hmm. So going the next thing then, how was it making a song with Marvin?
Dude, that was great. Like, it was really weird how it happened. Like, Marvin posted Nicolo on his story when it had like 40 or 50,000 views on SoundCloud. And he was like, this is hard. And I was like, wait, is this the same Marvin? Like, I've been trying to get in touch with Marvin for like a long time. But like, when you're at Duke and you're breaking freshman records at Duke University, I don't
Hmm.
think you have time for the small people in Arizona. Like I completely understood that. Like no hard feelings, no nothing. Like
Oh yeah,
he was
without a
just
doubt.
he was just busy. And like what I'm noticing is like you got to get to their level. Like they can't come down to your level. So I have to do something, to elevate me, to give them a reason to mess with me. And I glad I did. He then hit me up. He's like, bro, you're hard. Like, let's work. Sending this, sending that. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, all right then, for sure. So, like, he sent me in the Be a Star hook. And then after that, I was like, oh, this is a hit, dude. Like, this is hard. And then I literally, after that, I think like maybe a day, I had the verse written. I wrote the whole verse because I was like, I'm on a song with Marvin. Like, I have to come correct. I can't be just BSing on this song like for a feature. And then we did the
Mm-hmm.
like verse, and I sent it back to him. He was like, yo, like this is crazy too. So then the second verse, the last verse, it was originally me on there, but I didn't like it. So we took it out. Then he had it in his verse, and then we released it. And from there, it was just like it was hot.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's gotta be awesome. So you never like got in contact with Marvin until that song then?
Yeah, no, like we were always friends growing up. Like I've known Marvin since he was like 10 years old. Like I've known Marvin
Mm-hmm.
and Marcus and his family. Like God bless the Bagleys, love them.
For
Since they
sure.
were all young. Like the littlest one when he was a baby. Like I remember all of them when they were all kids, and like it's crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing them all grow up. Like one's in the pros, one darn near is going to be in the pros very very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus, he's a crazy
Yeah.
talent too. But it was just like uh. When you get bigger and bigger and bigger, and people aren't matching your level of greatness, like you kind of got to move on. And I understood that about Marvin. It was no hard feelings on
Mm-hmm.
that. Like he kind of had to keep going. He can't look back at the little people, and that's even not how I'm saying now, like I am, but I'm seeing it like you can't go back and try to help everybody. Like you got to help yourself. And then the people that want to follow behind you in the sense of like greatness and doing well, you work with those people. And he did that. He's just a great man of God for that. Like, not coming back and
Mm-hmm.
helping, but like in the sense of like going back to his roots and like seeing what's positively happening in the community, who's hot right now, and working with them and going with them because it's always been love. But you gotta match your people's energy. It's never about like, oh, they forgot about me. It's not that, bro. It's just like you have to be on their level in the sense of like matching their greatness and trying to be great and doing well in your life. They can't just mess with you because you're an old friend. Like that means nothing. Like that means nothing
Mm-hmm.
to them at all. You got to be great. So I understood where he not was coming from on that, but the energy like that put off, like it made me like want to go harder. So like you get to that level.
Of course, yeah. So next thing would be, what would be your dream collaboration someday in the future or now even that you'd love to have with someone partner up with you and do a song with?
Franklin Ocean. If I get to work with Frank Ocean, I want to work with Drake when I'm more established. Cause like,
Mm-hmm.
that culture vulture thing with Drake, how like he makes artists. I don't want that. I want to be so
Mm-hmm.
established that like he can't ruin or like make my name any worse or better than what it is. Drake,
Yeah.
Adele, Ed Sheeran, Bruno Mars, Billie Eilish. Um, don't want to work with too many rappers. I want to work with like Uzi, Cardi, Future, Tyler, definitely, and
Mm-hmm.
probably a special one that no one knows about, Kenny Chesney. If you listen to country, I love Kenny
Mm-hmm.
Chesney a lot. Like I love country music and I love pop music. So if I get to work with like great female artists and great pop country, just different genre artists, like if I'm doing that, then I'm a happy camper. Honestly,
For sure.
yeah.
So what do you say would be one of your favorite parts about performing?
Dude, like the energy that when I get on stage, because I've always been a person that's like, if you give me a stage and a mic, like I will turn that thing out. When I get to get on stage and just like let all my anger and energy out and rage, like, because that's why I say, welcome to the days, like to my shows. Like this is a moment where you can let go of all that confusion, all that craziness. You can just get wild, get crazy for an hour and feel like you're like a god, like you're like on another level, just like a feeling that you just can't explain. And that's the type of thing that I like giving to the fans. It's like when I get off stage and I get to see my friends and family and like all that stuff, and people are like talking to me, it's like they always tell me, it's like, dude, like I was losing my mind out there. Like I was so locked in, so zoned in. Like I just couldn't feel my body at a certain point. Like that's the type of feeling that I love, is that like when I'm on stage and I'm running out there and we're going back and forth, and when I'm singing the songs and they're singing them back, like that's the type of energy that I love. Like that for me is just like, it's almost like, excuse my French, but like an X, like an X, like next type feeling. It's like something just I can't explain, bro. It's just
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
So what would you say? Do you plan on going on tour sometime after you drop an album?
So this is my plan, is that I want to drop the album and then I want to hop on someone else's tour. So like, for instance,
Okay.
for example, like if Little Baby or like Gunna or like Trigger, like so one of those artists like was going on tour or something like that, just using examples for artists, like they were going
Mm-hmm.
on tour, or even like Maroon 5 or something. I don't care. We can do stadiums. I don't care. If like we were going on tour, and I can just go behind them and just see tour life and just see how the greats do it. Like that for me is just like what I want to do next. And I know by the end of this year, like we will be on a tour, like we will have something in the works off this album that will have people like talking and like moving and like, okay, like this kid's about to come and ruin the industry and like turn it upside down. So that's
Mm-hmm.
where we're at right now.
All right, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be one of your biggest role models? I mean, it could be an artist or something, but family, anyone.
My mom's like my biggest role model. That's my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like I always tell people that she's the only one I truly feel like on this earth, like overall all around. Besides like my dad gets me, of course. But like my mom,
Mm-hmm.
like we're just so close, and like she just gets me so well. And like she's just everything that I've ever needed in a person. And I hope that I'm that for her and I can give her the world. But like she inspires like me to the fullest to keep going hard. Like she deserves everything, so I have to give it to her. Like that's why I say even on my worst days, like I know like um it's not always about me, it's about my family, and like God gave me these talents. And I always tell people like I want to be my parents' greatest like investment. So I want to be a return on that and give them the world that they earned, that they
No
deserve.
doubt, yeah, for sure. So obviously now let's switch up a little bit into some basketball talk since that's kind of what the main podcast here is.
Right.
So let's go with this. Who's your favorite NBA team and your favorite NBA player?
My favorite NBA team is the Lakers. My favorite NBA player is Giannis right now. It was KD, but then he left to the Warriors. I didn't appreciate that. But Giannis for sure. I like young players that are focused. Even if he might not have the
Oh
jump
yeah.
shot right now, even if he might not have the team right now, or he might not make it out of the semifinals, beat Boston, which I think he can. I think he has a great chance right now. I think that they
Mm-hmm.
are kind of on their heels, and I don't know if they can really stop someone like that who's literally unstoppable. Even if you guard him like 20 feet off of him, he's still going to get to the basket and do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the Lakers, just because like I'm from Ohio, so I'm like a LeBron fan as well. I'm always gonna support him. My dad's been a Laker
Gotcha.
fan,
Yeah.
but we're going through some tough times right now. Magic gave up on us, but we're gonna figure it out. It's LA. We're always gonna figure it out. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited on what's gonna happen next in the NBA realm, because this year it's looking like, well, besides the Rockets right now, they're kind of tripping, but it's kind of looking like not anybody can win it, but it's looking more optimistic than in recent years.
For sure. I mean, that's probably one of the best things. I mean, each series has been pretty much a great series so far.
Yeah, each series has been like a nail biter. Like no one's just been like, oh, okay. Well, I think like the Bucks and like Detroit, like we
Yeah,
were
but
okay.
Bucks and Boston. Yeah, the first two, those two guys first round. But besides that,
Yeah. Besides that, yeah, because they played the Pacers, Boston.
mm-hmm.
But besides that, like it's been an excellent playoffs. Like I've been enjoying it. Like each game has been like down to the wire, and I really think that LeBron really shows that like when he's out the playoffs, like it's anybody's game at that point, and that
Oh
just
yeah.
shows to me greatness. Like, dude, when he's in the playoffs, we were always like, oh, it doesn't even matter. Like they'll beat them, they'll beat them, they'll beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like a huge playing field where anybody can win. The Warriors are going to win it, I think so, but
Yeah.
anybody has a chance now.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So, who would you say would be your favorite NCAA team?
My favorite NCAA team, go Wildcats.
Mm-hmm.
go Wildcats. Go Nico. Go Josh. Go Zeke. Go Ira. Go all of them, bro. They all go crazy. They gonna go crazy next year.
mm-hmm.
Arizona. People are underrating them. I think right now in the prediction, they don't even have them in the top 10. So like,
I don't know. They're like 11.
yeah, crazy. So like for
They
me,
have two top 10 guys.
exactly, bro. Like, um, for like me right now, it's just like I feel like Nico, and he always plays with a chip on his shoulder, because even when he averages 40 and hits game winners, it's still always a story about this. And when he has 30 at the Nike Hoop Summit, it's a story about this, why he can't do this. When he kills out the All
Mm-hmm.
American games, it's a story about how he can't. So like for me, it's like he we were talking about that. He reminds me a lot of Dame because, like, he's good. Like, he never really has bad years. He just doesn't get the attention
Mm-hmm.
that he deserves. And I feel like at the college level, he's going to get that because he's going to, like, completely, I'm going to say that he's going to dominate because he's just smarter
No
than
doubt.
everybody else. He just has one of the highest IQs I've ever seen in a basketball player.
No doubt. I mean, I think definitely for him, I mean, we'll obviously see what happens in the NBA because, I mean, it's a whole other level there. But, I mean, for the NCAA, I mean, it would not surprise me if he pulls off some kind of historic kind of season like Jimmer Fredette or something like that. I mean, they remind me a lot of, like, just high IQ, can shoot it from anywhere, just can take over. I mean, Nico's more athletic, though, too.
Yeah, which I think really helps his NBA stock is that he's athletic.
Mm-hmm.
He's a smart point guard. He makes smart decisions. He doesn't really turn the ball over. He doesn't get ripped. Great handle on it. Knows where to put the ball. Great assist, man. Can score the ball when needed. Can shoot. Like, literally, bro, like, people don't realize, like, this kid can literally do whatever he wants on a basketball court. And we got to start
Mm-hmm.
giving him his full respect. Like, there's nothing that he can't do. Like, during the season, he averaged 7 rebounds and, like, 6 or 7 assists. Like, on a team that was, like, in my opinion, and everyone else would say was lacking talent. And like he really did it, like by himself. I always tell people, you give me anybody else in the country, anybody else, they could have not pulled that off. Some of those games they should have lost. Some of those times, like they should have not even been in the game at all. And he just pulls it out every single time, like has 42 in the playoffs. And like, I don't know, bro. He's just a different breed of human. And I think that a lot of the times he gets not his credit because he's a white athlete, but I think now people are going to start really paying attention to him and being like, okay, like this kid can actually play basketball. He's actually talented.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, I played against him in my middle. I played against him quite a few because he's only a year older than me, but when he was held back still in his other grade,
Right.
I mean, we played against each other 7th, 8th. I know, 6th, 7th, 8th, and then freshman year, too. I mean, he's just a whole nother. I mean, he just is different.
Different, bro.
Just the way
Like,
you can watch him play.
bro, like me and him share a lot of the same views, like mentally, bro. Like we're just both dogs. Like that's what caught my eye when I first met him. I always tell him that like you were just a dog, bro. And I don't meet too many people that are like completely invested into like killing you, like fully through the
Mm-hmm.
game. Like that's how I am in my music. Like hopefully one day I'll like film a documentary of like just me in the studio. But like there's a lot of times where I'm yelling, where I'm like, I'm the best. Do you hear that? Like, do you hear that? Like, I'm the best. Like, I make the best stuff. Like, I'm so, like, bro, like, no one's making this. Like, I want everything. I don't care what genre. Like, I'll be yelling in the studio, bro. But that's just how I am. Like, I'm, like I said, bro, like, I'm a very competitive person. I love to win. I hate to lose. And that's just how we both are. Like, we will do whatever it takes. We will study film. We will study the little stuff so that we can win on all cylinders.
Of course. So, a couple more questions then. So, who would you say is going to come out of the Eastern Conference then?
Okay, I think the Bucks are still going to come out the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Bucks win, it could possibly be the Raptors as well. But if the Celtics win, they can beat the Raptors because they match up with them very, very well. Kyle Lowry's the worst player in the NBA. So Kyle Lowry's the worst player in the NBA. So
yeah, I'd say he's a little overrated, but
very, bro. Like he averages like 15 and 7. He's an all-star. That doesn't make sense, dude. Like Devin Booker is like 26, 25 points per game every single season. They got people like the D'Angelos, the Kembas, who finally got their shine, these like past few years. But there's players that just like are playing better. And I hate that his team always just has a good record and that he's leading them as a point guard, that it looks good, but he sucks. He sucks, dude. He sucks in the playoffs. Like, I'm sorry. If Kyle Lowry eventually hears this, like, there's like personal against you as a person, but like, bro, like you just, I don't know. Like, you just make all of us mad when you get the ball in the playoffs.
yeah, I mean, just yeah, I don't even know. I mean, he's a good player, and there's differences between a guy that's like a very good player that just holds the team together, like a Draymond,
Right.
But to get the praise he gets and gets all these All-Star recognitions and first teams over guys that, per se, even like D'Angelo and Kemba, that are just statistically so much better, and they may not be on the best team, but they're the best player, and by far.
That's what I also hate about Draymond is like he'll average like 8 points, 8 rebounds, like 4 assists, and be an all-star and talk all this mess. Like, bro, like I understand that you're the glue to the Warriors. Like they don't win without you. Like I completely get that. But at the same time, like relax. Like you're shooting like 20% from the three this year. Like relax. Like you're not playing well. Like please relax.
So then you definitely think the Western Conference is going to be Golden State?
Oh, it's going to be Golden State. Like it's just,
and they're going to win it?
Yeah. It's just like bro, like we can be as optimistic as we want to be like, oh, they have a chance for this and they have a chance for that and they can do. No, it's gonna be Golden State. Like they have
Hmm.
two of the greatest players of all time on one team. Like Steph Curry is
In their prime.
for me right now. For me, I think Steph Curry is the second greatest point guard I've ever seen. I've ever seen.
Hmm.
Just because he's a winner. He can score the ball like I've never seen before in the NBA. He's literally changed how we like work in the NBA. And like
And out of the NBA.
exactly, bro. Like his face is just like he's a culturally like impactful face like of everything. And with
Hmm.
KD, like he's in my opinion, he's the greatest scorer I've ever seen with the basketball. Like he literally
Oh yeah,
there's
no
nothing he
doubt.
can't do on the basketball court. And the only reason why I say he's not the best player is because I have vendetta for him for what he did to my Oklahoma City.
Hmm. So the last thing we're going to talk about, something I always like ending. How would you say God has helped you the most?
Man, giving me opportunity in every
Hmm.
instance, not even the sense of like positive opportunity, like where things can improve my life, but just opportunities to learn and grow. I'm a very much person of like I like life experiences. And this might sound ignorant, but I have a reason for why I'm saying it. I like failure. I love failure. I love messing up. I love knowing I'm going to mess up. I love knowing that like I'm going to make mistakes because
Oh yeah.
people don't realize when you make mistakes, you're now learning what not to do. Like
Hmm.
you now have a chance to fix what you just did and learn from that mistake. And then if you do it again, that just makes you dumb. Like just makes you like you're not learning, you're not growing as a person. And that's a huge problem if you aren't. And for me, like God has given me the opportunity multiple times throughout my life to make mistakes in the worst instances, the worst of times, and just having grace and glory and favor over my life that like even with those mistakes, they're gonna create great, triumphs in my life and they're gonna it's all for the bigger picture. Like I used to always hate like my flaws and things that I couldn't
Hmm.
change about me. But at the same time, they are what make me. So you have to accept who you are. And I just appreciate every single flaw. And it might sound like I'm more going towards the negative sides of me, but the negative sides are what make the positive sides. Because without the negative sides, I wouldn't know the best of me.
No doubt. I mean, that's something that, I mean, for people that don't believe there's a God or our God, the one save, our one and only Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, there's no other way. I mean, I don't know how you go throughout life without that. 'Cause, I mean, there's only one person that's our God that can truly take a mistake and turn it into something great. I mean, there's no other way
I
around
always
that.
tell people if you don't believe in God, at least believe in something. There's no need for you to be walking around on earth just solely thinking that you're here by yourself because you're not. So I just truly think that if you don't live with like a complete like open mind and just being like optimistic about everything and just you're just wandering around and you're not like you have no belief in anything, like what are you living for then at that point? Like everyone has a purpose on earth. Like if you don't believe in anything, like what exactly are you doing here? Like you're just wasting space at that point when you solely here
Hmm.
were brought here to do a purpose. And I always tell people that we're all part of this puzzle. So like every person matters, from the person that works at Fry's grocery store, person that stocks the food, the person that cuts the food up, the person that like makes the trucks that drive the food to place, the people that build the
No
construction.
doubt.
Like everyone matters. Like everyone has a place that matters in this world. And you just gotta figure out, no matter how big or how small, you matter, and you gotta figure that out.
Hmm. That's 100% spot
Yeah.
on. Well, it's been great chopping it up with you, Jordy. I'm excited to see what God's got for you, and it's going to be something special. And I'm excited, especially to be a part of your journey. God bless, my
Thank you
guy.
so much, Zach. I appreciate you having me on. This is amazing. I pray nothing but blessings over you and your family and your situation. You're gonna go up, brother. You have a good head on your shoulders. Your parents did a great job.
Appreciate you
Thank
too.
you. See you soon. All right.
All right. A lot of big time hirings have been done in the front office this past week, and there's one in particular that stands out more to me than any other one. And I think that you guys that live in the Valley, that take pride in the Phoenix Suns, are going to want to hear. Trust me, I am excited about what's going down in the Valley. First one, let's talk about the Cavs. Now, they are interviewing pretty much every coach on the planet, so get ready for a long list of names. All right? Jamal Mosley from Dallas, assistant coach from Utah Jazz, Alex Jensen, former head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies and Houston Rockets, JB Bickerstaff, Jordy Fernandez, and Wes Unseld from Denver, Juwan Howard from the Miami Heat, Darwin Hanson from Milwaukee, Iatoro Messini, and Ime Udoka from San Antonio Spurs. Now I'm going to list some of the college coaches and other coaches they've hired they've talked about throughout the process. They're still clearly a long way away from their hiring, but stay tuned. I'll keep you guys up to date as best I can. Next up is the LA Lakers. They lost out on their guy. What else can I say? Reports are now saying that they are expected to make an offer to Tyronn Lue to become the next head coach of the LA Lakers. Phil Jackson has reportedly endorsed him to the ownership groups with the LA Lakers, and reportedly they have zeroed in on him. But listen to me, this is not good for the LA Lakers. I have a very hot take I'm about to say about the LA Lakers. It's upset a lot of you guys Laker fans. But I want to say this, and it's what's got to go down, all right? If the LA Lakers cannot even sign a head coach of their preference, and they lose out not to the big market team, but to the Phoenix Suns, there is no way that they will be getting an elite player this summer. And I'm talking about you're adding in New York, Brooklyn, Clippers, you're adding all them in. We're talking about Phoenix Suns. Yes, they're a great team. They rise in there with a young core, but the Phoenix Suns are not a big market. This worries me if I'm a Lakers fan, though. You guys can't even pull in your top preferred coach. Wow. No, I didn't think you guys were going to get Kawhi, get Kevin Durant. None of that. That's not happening. It's ridiculous. But I thought maybe Jimmy Butler or Klay Thompson. I don't even know if that's going to happen. LeBron might be single-handed again next year. Not looking good for Lakerland. Tyronn Lue's going to come in, not going to be another real coach. Go ahead, hire him. Yeah, he was successful because LeBron led the locker room. Tyronn Lue wasn't even in the huddle the majority of the time. So you have Greg Popovich. They've now extended Greg Popovich to 3 years. But in terms of this, it'll be Greg Popovich will be determining it. It's going to be a year-by-year kind of deal where he decides at the end of the year if he's going to come back. But great news, everyone. He is coming back for at least one more year. At least one more year, we're going to see Greg Popovich, his great interviews, and his elite, best all-time coach. He also is the highest-paid coach in the NBA. As for Minnesota Timberwolves, they've now hired Garrison Rosas, the Rockets executive. I'm not sure the general manager, Scott Layden, will stay or not. But as for the head coach, Ryan Saunders looks to be the fate. There were some Towns, Wiggins, and many other players went out to go talk to Garrison and said they want Ryan Saunders. They love Ryan. They want him to be the coach for them for the future. And I think that's what I've been saying. They need to do that. As for Boston, Danny Ainge had a second stroke. The other first one happened 10 years ago. He had a heart attack on our stroke, and it was in Milwaukee on Tuesday. He's going to make a full recovery. But this leads me to the question. A lot of people have already been rumoring, is Danny Ainge ready to retire? The new general manager for Boston Celtics will only be the fourth general manager in Celtics history, which is insane when you think about that. I mean, some of these teams fly through general managers left and right every other year, head coaches, all that. Crazy enough. I believe they only have 3 or 4 coaches in their history, too. Point is, Danny Ainge might be retiring, which is crazy because you got to think about this. Kyrie, that's going to be a big platform. He's got a big decision to make in terms of the young core who's resigning, who is he trading. But there might be a big job opening in Boston. That's once again going back to Trajan. I wouldn't be surprised if he's looking into that job opportunity to become the new general manager of the Boston Celtics. That is a very high possibility. But we'll have to see what happens in Boston. Bulls have also now extended officially Jim Boylan. I'm excited. Perfect hiring, I said. They believe that he will be the teacher the franchise needs. Great hiring. Can't complain about that one. Perfect. But here we go. This is what I told you guys I wanted to talk about. As a Suns fan, as a person that takes pride, yes, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, first and primarily. They're my team, they're my squad. But I have pride in my Phoenix Suns. I take pride in my hometown because I love and I'm happy to be a part of Arizona, and that's what I want to help rise up. But we just got a steal. I believe that Phoenix Suns have just had the biggest win in franchise history. Now, yes, it's not a lot they wanted. But I think they've made championship runs. They've had a lot of this. Monty Williams, I believe, is the best hire, the biggest win that the Suns have had in franchise history. Monty Williams is the truth that he is the guy that will lead the Phoenix Suns to the promised land and for sure to the playoffs sooner rather than later. He will be the guy that teams up with James Jones, J.F. Bauer, all the rest of the crew, Trevor Buxton, everyone, and he will make a great crew drafting John Morant and extending Kelly Oubre to whatever contract that is needed to get done. Folks, for you guys that are Phoenix Suns fans, and I know a lot of you guys like Suns and are take pride, be excited. Seeing what the Cardinals did the other weekend in the draft and seeing what the Suns were just able to do should bring smiles and happiness to every Suns fan out there. This is huge, guys. This is big time. Your Phoenix Suns, the Phoenix Suns are coming back. There's no one better to lead a locker room than Monty Williams. No one better. He's a man of God. The stuff he's gone through to overcome and to come back to coaching has been fabulous. Been an amazing job with Philadelphia out there. I'm shocked he didn't take Lakers' job, but he's coming to Phoenix, everybody, and he's going to lead a locker room of men on and off the court. He is the best hire I've seen this for a few weeks now. All props, and props must be due now to the front office of the Phoenix Suns and to Robert Sarver. Now, there's a lot of stuff you can blame Robert Sarver for. He can take a lot of blasts, but this right here, give props where props is due. No slander can be done to Robert Sarver's name on this hiring. He finally opened up his pocket and his paycheck and wrote a big-time contract for a coach that needs to come to Phoenix and can finally lead this team and develop. Now, yes, it's Reed Booker's fifth head coach, which is crazy, but they got the guy. They have the guy that Phoenix has been waiting for forever, and I am excited. Big things are coming to Arizona. Big time things. 4 series are still going down in the NBA playoffs for the second round. You don't want to catch what I have to say about all of them. Let's start off in the Western Conference. Houston vs. Golden State. Before I talk about the series as of right now, there were reports saying that DeMarcus Cousins, Boogie, and Damian Jones have a chance at returning during this playoffs if they continue a deep run. Obviously, Golden State now has a 2-1 lead. As I said last week, I believe, the complaining is ridiculous. Go play basketball. Stop complaining about the refs and play basketball. Come on now. I didn't think Chris Paul was the kind of complaining guy that he's been, but go play, be a leader, and play. I don't know what it is. Yes, maybe those were fouls. I don't know. But you can't go flying your body into them. And if the refs don't call it, go take the ball to the hoop, do your pick and roll with Capella, and go to the hoop. That is what you need to do to win games. And they did that a lot better game 3. That's why they got the win. It's 2-1. KD is the best player on the planet, and that was ridiculous. Like Curry and Clay kept shooting the ball. They better take ownership, and they better step up big time. Because that was KD's game that they took away, and they lost that game. Steph Curry lost the game for them. Plain and simple. Now, it will be interesting to see how the series finishes off. Next game will be in Houston still for Game 4. As for Denver and Portland, Denver tied up tonight 2-2 after the big-time 4-overtime win for Portland. Enes Kanter is playing through a re-aggravated separated shoulder. Jokic said he quoted him saying he said he likes to play in the weight range between 275 and 280 on game days. Almost like a fighter, he likes to move his weight up and down. Interesting. Will Barton was big off the bench for them. Jokic just keeps getting triple doubles. He's playing fabulous. Yes, he played a record 65 minutes the other day. It was insane. McCollum's such a big time. Damian's putting up a heck of a series. Told you this is gonna be great. This is truly a series, and Denver should be earning everyone's respect. I didn't think they were gonna make it this far or be contending, but they are resilient and they keep grinding and play the hardest. And they're really earning my respect. And they're gonna be a great young team, especially if MPJ turns out well. Philly and Toronto are now tied up 2-2 in the series. Kawhi Leonard. It's so hard because he is so elite that we all forget about it. Almost all the time. How often do we really remember Kawhi Leonard being a top player and consider him? He's always outside the top 5 for everyone. But he puts up 36 and 14, numbers like that. 39 and 14, whatever. Crazy. Kawhi Leonard. It's not even, he's just so different. He's so elite. No one's realizing it. Kyle Lowry finally played good, solid, one of his best games. Same with Danny Green. Siakam didn't have a good game, but he will also play when he was doubtful to play. Philly and Embiid played horrible today, but he's been dominating the series. Simmons, he's been average. Really hasn't done much. I understand Dudley took the comment back, but let's all be honest. What is he really doing in that core half? Jimmy Butler's had taken over all ball handling duties. He's done an incredible job. Tobias has been big time. James Ennis has been huge for them. Boston vs. Milwaukee. Interesting. Milwaukee's up 2-1. I think Boston's going down, folks. This is the end of it. Crazy thing. Kyrie was horrible the other night. Kyrie had below 10 points. First time he's done that in the playoffs in 1,447 days. 10 points under the playoffs. Antetokounmpo, playing amazing. But also he had shot 22 free throws. And Kyrie, rightfully so, was mad. Now that's something you can complain about, Houston. Great to see how this turns out, but I think Boston's going down, folks. And there's some stuff. Kyrie's leaving. I don't see Kyrie staying. But the way this is turning out, watch out. Kyrie will be on the move, folks. I'm calling it right now. You know what time it is. It is SchuZ Zone, the fan favorite and my favorite time where I'm going to hit up a whole bunch of topics that I promise you the media did not hit up enough, and I want to say my take on it. Stay tuned to see what I have to say about it. First thing we're going to hit up in SchuZ Zone, D'Angelo Russell. Wow. Not going to lie, that's got me. Really upset me for a guy that overcame when he came, became an amazing leader, got praise from the top down from the Brooklyn organization and from people across the league to do what he did, trying to bring pot onto a plane. Now, yes, I see now the reports are now claiming that it was his brothers, in fact, but Will Kane on the first take made a great point. No one really thought about this until he said this. D'Angelo Russell tried sneaking a contraband inside a contraband. I don't know where his brain was. Think about this. He tried sneaking in an Arizona iced tea container, a fake one. You can't bring liquid on a plane, but yet he decided to do it. So not only was he decided to hide his weed in one place that he would be caught. I understand it's not a big deal in terms of discipline. It's only his first thing, and it wasn't even necessarily a cause for him. First of all, I don't know why he was flying commercial. He should have been flying private, but still. I don't know what happened to D'Angelo Russell. That was a bonehead move, and that was ridiculous. Alan Kyle also picked up his option for $18.5 million, which I truly do believe Brooklyn will explore trades so that they can open up the other max spots, so they can try attempting to get Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Tobias, whatever it may be. Vince Carter will come back for his 22nd NBA season. And this is something I want to say. Shannon Sharp made a great point about this. He is a superstar, a first ballot Hall of Famer that was okay and allowed himself to adjust as he got older to new roles. Where he's now been a mentor, still put up 7.5 points a game, like 3 or 4 rebounds. This is why so many veterans and elite players don't last that long. Because once they can't play and the game changes, they don't want to adjust. You know who I'm thinking of? Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony could very well be a nice PJ Tucker kind of guy. A good scoring guy off the bench for 10 minutes. No, he doesn't want to do that, though. This is what makes Vince Carter special and why he's amazing. I'm excited to see where it goes for his 22nd season. Craziest thing about this, Vince Carter is the first player in sports league to play across 4 different decades. He played in the 90s, the 1000s, the 10s, and now he'll play in the 20s next year. Insane. Big props to Vince Carter. Now, last week you guys heard what I said about Jalen McHugh. I slammed him because I thought that was ridiculous. With the number 30 player has no business declaring for the draft. Good luck getting drafted. But now there's a different guy that skipped his senior year to go play in college like Marvin Bagley did. His name's R.J. Hampton. I want to give props to him. I want to talk about the good high school players and good high school decisions. This was a genius decision. Getting to college early so you can go pro. For these guys to get held back, it's always a great thing to be able to skip a grade. That means that you truly that benefited you. Big time. Love seeing that from R.J. Hampton. Last thing is SchuZ Zone. Stephen A. Smith gave his NBA awards. MVP is James Harden. No, wrong. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Come on now. Harden was great scoring, but he struggled for a good portion of the season. Giannis did not. Rookie of the Year, Doncic, we know that. Most improved, Siakam. You guys know this is tough for me, because seeing him in the playoffs, yes, he is the most improved. He's been dominated in the playoffs, besides today's game, but injuries excused it. But was he the whole season? To me, I think he was overhyped, and we can't count the postseason. That's why it's going to be tough. And I do think D'Angelo, maybe. But you guys will have to wait and see, because I will have my award predictions later in another episode right before the award show. 6th Man of the Year, Lou Williams. Yeah, we know that one. Defensive Player of the Year, Gobert. I don't understand. He is an incredible defensive player, but he wasn't ever in my board the entire year. Some of these guys just get thrown in there, and I don't think they deserve it necessarily. Yes, he was great, but he did not average the most blocks Miles Turner did. Nor did he really even average a steal a game. So, in my opinion, no, Giannis should win Defensive Player of the Year or Paul George. That's my top 2 guys. Last thing, Coach of the Year is Coach Bud of the Milwaukee Bucks. You guys know I think that he should win Coach of the Year. If we include playoffs, Doc Rivers, just because of the fact he got 2 wins against Golden State with that kind of team. That's what I got for SchuZ Zone. Can't wait to see you guys next week in SchuZ Zone. I'm always going to have some of the stuff that the media just did not hit up enough in the past week. I'm so glad that you guys could all join me today for for SchuZ Views episode 10. Now trust me, this was a fun one, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. But with that being said, if you'd like to join in on any of my episodes in the upcoming episodes, just let me know and follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Zach Schumaker, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Zach Schumaker or SchuZ Views, or like my Facebook page at SchuZ Views, so that you guys can message me and hit up and answer my question about what I should talk about. Oh, and do not forget to subscribe or like my podcast, depending on the platform that you may be listening to. Now, I'm excited to get back to you guys and cannot wait to talk to you guys about more stuff and hear about my views next week on SchuZ Views episode 11. It's going to be another great one. I promise you. Now, with that being said, I want to make sure that you guys are being the light of God. I am out, SchuZ is out, and God bless.